This thing is a small award for me personally. So, but Best Director is always, in my opinion, one of the biggest awards is Best Director, just because of the fact that they are literally the boss from start to finish. They are the one who controls the content, the way the actors respond, when the actors show up, the locations, the circumstances, the shots, you name it, they do it. So it's one of the biggest jobs on set. So in my personal opinion, I think we should start with the big one of the big ones, which is Best Director, and work our way forward. So, number one, Marie, for 32 White, is nominated for Best Director. Since you are here, and not everybody got to see the film, give us a short synopsis of your movie for everybody who didn't get to see it.
Well, my film is about the rising suicide rates among the dental students in India. It's something that a lot of people are not aware about, but every year thousands of students are killing themselves because of a lot of reasons: pressure, parental pressure, peer pressure, professor pressure, and there are also a lot of society issues. So in this film that we started shooting in 2010 and finished shooting in 2018, it's an 8-year-old long project that we worked on, and you get to learn as to what are the reasons why these kids are doing what they're doing.
So we have Karen Cooper and Kevin Rumley, who couldn't be here tonight for No Alternative. For those of you who missed it on the very first day, No Alternative is a documentary story about squat culture, right? That's what they call it, squat culture. Are you guys familiar with what squat culture is? How would you describe that best? It's almost a communal, meaning artists in Sweden are all congregating together and living together, sharing expenses, sharing food, sharing housing, the whole bit. And so they went place to place to place, interviewing different artists, talking about what that lifestyle was like. Hugely intriguing, little over an hour long, fascinating film. Alfonso Vega for Limbo, which you guys just saw actually. Those of you who saw Limbo, what did you think, by the way? Any input, any feedback that I can give you? Because I forgot to ask that.
That was a heavy movie.
Was it too disturbing, or did you actually like it?
Well, I mean, it was really well done, but
Right.
would I watch it again? Probably. I don't think
So
I
it's a
would.
one and done for
Yeah,
you,
yeah,
you think?
yeah.
Okay, a little too
But it's
sensitive.
less addicting.
Okay, anybody else? Any thoughts? What did you think?
No, that's right. It's not the
Okay.
kind of movie you want to repeat it. It's not enjoyable, but it's an experience.
Absolutely. Okay, we have Kylie Garcelon. I apologize for the dog walker if I didn't say that right, but since you are here, my dear, please tell everyone about the dog walker if you would.
Sure. It's a feature film. It's a psychological thriller about a retired investigative journalist with PTSD who left her career due to some trauma, and now she's trying to start fresh in a new city, and her past is coming back to haunt her. And I'll leave it at that.
Very good, actually. Absolutely. Just out of curiosity, before I name the winner, for those of you that are present, are any of these films available to be watched online or separate screenings? Can any of your audience here see your films anyway?
We have DVDs or
Okay, so you have DVDs.
It's,
Dog walker?
it's in festival circuit, so
Okay,
yeah.
I've got you. Alfonso is working on distribution, I know that. No Alternative. Did they tell us if they have distribution or not? Because I couldn't remember. Okay, and the final nominee is Brandon Lay. Brandon Lay did a movie, which most of you didn't see, called Binge Purge. Binge Purge is just what it sounds like, which is a movie that addresses the whole story behind bulimia. Obviously, those of us who, this pressure to be thin, pressure to be beautiful, and it's a beautiful 30-minute film taking a journey of one female girl who gets fired from her job, gotten into the throes of bulimia, and somebody who rescues her. It's a very touching, very poignant movie. Brandon Lay is a great filmmaker. So having said that, from what I can see here, my judges tell me that the best director win for this year is 32 White. Go over here.
Thank you. Means a lot. We've come a long way. The reason that I wanted to screen this film first in the United States is because this is where I first studied film. I came here to do my master's 10 years ago. And the other reason I wanted to come here is because I know that the story and the narrative that I was trying to talk of will be much more accepted and understood over here than anywhere else. So I'm very happy, very excited. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
So we're done. Just kidding. So I have Best Male Actress. I'm so sorry, by the way. It was 4 a.m. and I was like, Best Male Actress. I'm like, oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Okay. So instead of doing actress, actor. Best Male Actor. So there are 5 very heavy contenders in this. And when I say that, I mean every single person that's on this list goes above and beyond. Whether they're a good guy, whether they're a bad guy, whether it's a touching, moving story, etc. One of the films that we screened today was called Been a While, and unfortunately the director's not here anymore. The gentleman who played the father in that movie, and it's a very touching story about a father and a daughter that have lost touch with one another. And even with the complications and the heartfelt emotions and the frustration and the pain, they find a way to start merging their relationship together. Hugely powerful performance. So Andrew Hunsaker was nominated. He's the dad from that movie, so that's Been a While. Unfortunately, the cast from Amsterite is not here, but the lead actor, we screened that last night. Amsterite is just a colorful, cute story. We're talking wardrobe that's pink and purple and green, special effects, and literally taking it to another dimension, almost like E.T. met Carrie Bradshaw from Sex and the City. And you took them on this lavish adventure in another universe. That's what Amsterite is basically. So Mike Russo, lead character, is nominated for that. Matthew Crawley for The Dog Walker. Tell me a bit about Matthew, for those of us that have never met Matthew. Matthew's role in the film is?
Matthew plays the dog walker.
Yes.
The dog walker.
Yes.
Mysterious character.
Yes.
You really don't know. Is he a good guy? Is he a bad guy? And he's a wonderful, charming actor. He's great to work with. He's incredibly talented. Just has this mystery naturally about him, so he was great to be cast in the role.
And he's a model or no?
No, he's not.
So ironically,
Actor, writer.
I meant to tell you this story. So we were at Daisy's last night for the last night of the film festival over there, and I would swear to God, while I was waiting for Michael at like 12 something to get the car, I swear to God he walked right past me. A guy that looked just like him. I'm like, oh my God, that's Matthew right there. It was like freaked the hell out of me. I was like, oh my God. So that's a bit about Matthew Crawley. Very well deserved. He is, am I wrong? His performance was lovely. Absolutely above and beyond the Call of Duty. Wonderful. Joey Kirshner for Silent Combustion. Please talk about your counterpart, please. I love Joey.
I don't know what to say. Joey is a model from Canada, and he is sweet, good looking, and just loving.
And his role in the film, what is his job?
Oh, he was my love interest.
Yes. And the cool part about Silent Combustion, for those of you that haven't seen it, is there are no words. It is literally a beautiful love story told to music, and it's beautiful. And she does have a lovely co-star, I'm not gonna lie. It's kind of pretty for a young boy. So congratulations, Joey. Charles Adams with The Hunt. Now, The Hunt is a story about Silas Green is a hunter who goes on an annual hunting journey, comes across a psychopathic hunter, who is Charles Adams, who literally ends up kidnapping him and trying to cut him apart. Literally, long story short. So who doesn't like a bad guy, right? So, Charles Adams. Last but not least, Michael Gentile for The Damage. This is now his second nomination, his second film in 2 years. And tell everybody who you are and what you play.
I play a character named Jimmy Dales. The title speaks for itself. He's a very damaged human being, a little off the wall. So, yeah, that says it all. Just a very troubled individual who lashes out, kind of like a child with a sharpened sword.
All right. So, as of exactly 45 minutes ago, I'll say this. It was very close to yet again being a tie. Last year it was a tie for both male actors. And so 45 minutes ago, I had the last judge say to me, you know what, he's close, but no. So the runner-up is Matthew, for The Dog Walker. And it was really, really close. I was like, there were 3 lead contenders here, and I knew Matthew was going to be one of them. And then, unfortunately, he did not get it. And Andrew did not get it. Michael, you are indeed the best actor 2 years in a row for The Damage.
Well,
They say second time is the charm, but the first time was a lot easier. I didn't help with the projection and the sound and the lugging and all of that, but I did get to see Cindy in action, and I got to see her laborious process and integrity with the judges, and just the degrees of separation, having the right eyes on the project and picking it for the right reason. So I do accept this wholeheartedly, even though since we know each other very well, it struck a chord. And thank you so much. I also want to thank some of my beloved second bananas in the film. Jimmy Walsh, Tim Whalen, Gordon Graydon, a lovely veteran elderly actor who they don't get enough recognition. I love my second bananas. I love playing them myself, and sometimes everybody focuses on the guy with the statue and not the supporting people who bring these weird little worlds to life. So thank you, Cindy. Thank you, everybody, very, very much.
Look at you. You won. Wasn't my doing it, and I'm so happy about that. I'm very, 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 very proud. But I do feel bad for Matt. I mean, he's a great actor. It was so close. I'm like, oh my God. But no.
I'm just glad it's not a tie this time.
No, it wasn't. Actually, it was a clear one. It was. Wait, I'm gonna have the females wait a little bit, just that whole anticipation thing. So we'll get back to you guys. So let's talk about thriller, sci-fi. We only have 4 candidates this year, which is somewhat sad to me, only because I don't get a lot of sci-fi and thriller and horror that come to me, very sadly. I wish I did. So if you guys have any leads on people who do thriller or sci-fi, I'm more than welcome to listen. Because I think thriller is a genre that's very unique and different. Not everybody can do it, either or sci-fi for that matter. So first of all, let's do, because Roommate is here, Roommate is nominated for Best Thriller / Sci-Fi. So Chris Newman, tell everybody what your film is about.
So there's a discussion with Matt Scott, and his personal life crosses over into his personal life. It was very surprising life.
Very well put. Okay. Number 2, we have Kushtaka. And since Michael has seen it, you're probably better at describing it than I. So Kushtaka is...
A terrific blend. It's kind of, for those of you who are a fan of H.P. Lovecraft, it's a combination like 19th century survivalism mixed with unexplained horror. Man alone in the mountains digging for gold and does not know the forces he's dealing with.
And all black and white. So it was lovely, lovely, lovely. Like 18 minutes long. Really, really good cinematic work. I would have to say I was hugely impressed. I didn't get to judge it again. Another friend of mine, Cameron Kern, in Canada. Excellent production. Number 3, The Shroud. Marie, you could describe The Shroud. You saw it, right? Remember The Shroud? The girl at the grave?
Yeah.
Tell everybody what The Shroud was about.
So that one took place late in the 1920s.
Yep.
Time. Basically, it was about. It seemed like a kind of a dare thing that this woman was on this early going to a graveyard, and let's just say she bites up more than she can chew and gets herself in
Yes.
situations where it's not good for the whole family. And it was a very nice twist at the end.
Nice movie though, right? We really like that. This was
I
tough.
like the twist at the end.
Cinematography was great. A French filmmaker who's a female, as a matter of fact, so I was hugely proud of that film. And then number 4, of course, is Assassin's Apprentice. Those of you that have been to the festival before know Russell Emanuel is an LA filmmaker that submits every year to my festival. Are you guys familiar with Robert Picard? Have you heard of him? He casts Robert Picard in everything he does. In this particular case, Assassin's Apprentice is all about a young woman who's an assassin, and her teacher is Robert Picard. So he teaches her how to go off and literally annihilate somebody using a drone, actually, like this drone robot that follows her around. So great cinematography, great story, great casting. I mean, who doesn't love Robert Picard, right? So I'm like, okay. So this particular category, so everybody knows, the most difficult part about determining whether a thriller should win or not is, does it scare you? Does it have any sentimental value? Because yes, believe it or not, even though you're scared, you want to feel moved as well. How is the cinematography? And most importantly, is it a good made film? So this is probably, for me personally, when I got the final decision, it was the most hardest because I would have nominated and given them all awards. Unfortunately, I cannot. So, my judges say that the winner is Room 8.
Alicia. This is pretty awesome, Rose. Thank you. Like, I mean, like I was saying, this is part of like an induction into a community of beautiful and loving people. So that's what our Film AM family is. So thank you very much.
Don't look at me.
Down there.
All right. That was like a 30-second speech, dude. When you win something the first time, you're supposed to talk longer. Just saying. Okay, comedy. We have 4 different movies. Assisted suicide is first, so we're going to make the filmmakers talk because they're scary and they never say anything. So, there you go.
Alright, basically the movie is about a young woman who's decided to kill herself, but she's interrupted when her best friend comes over, and she enlists her to help her write her suicide note, but she keeps pushing her to try to fix the things that are bothering her, but it only ends up making everything worse. So,
It's a comedy.
it's a dark.
It is definitely a dark comedy, absolutely. 71 for Fun is a movie about a middle-aged man, ironically, who is searching for an assistant. He keeps interviewing all these people and making them go through all these arduous, ridiculous, off-the-wall contests to try to win a job. From whether it's acrobatics to going to the gym to doing all sorts of crazy things. So 71 for Fun is one of my favorites for a mature comedy. Tales of the Circle Keys takes place in Hawaii. It literally follows the story of a screenwriter who lives in Hawaii who has an imaginary romantic relationship with a woman in his head that he's writing about and saying, I'm going to be with this woman. And then she eventually envelops and shows up in front of him. And this short film is actually, literally as we speak, being turned into a feature film. So I'm hugely proud about this. Audition Antics, which we loved, right? You guys, I know you liked it and you liked it. Michael, what is Audition Antics about?
It's sort of a hyper version of the everyday practice of going to auditions and the weird, annoying people that you encounter in these casting rooms.
And so true to life. Oh my God, it was so funny and so ridiculous. So, for Best Comedic Film this year, you have to say Audition Antics, which Keisha is not here, as a matter of fact. So I guess I should say something for her. So Keisha did this film, and she, first of all, she didn't do it as a film right away. She found her inner voice, found her inner writer, decided to put this into a film, as a matter of fact. And it's only about 8 minutes long or so. She's a lovely, beautiful soul. One of the coolest parts about Audition Antics is there isn't one character in that room that all of you actors can identify with, whether it's the crazy one or the one doing the yoga and what was the exercise she was doing, like,
Oh, the vocal warm-ups.
the vocal warm-up.
There's always somebody doing that.
Or the one running up like, what's your headshot look like? And can I talk to you? And how many auditions have you had? Blah, blah, blah. So she had like it's like every personality in his head for most actors all rolled up, and she covered it within like 8 minutes. Beautiful, 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 and one of the loveliest girls ever. So congratulations, Keisha. I'm so very proud and so very happy for you. So I'm sad that she's not here, unfortunately. Okay, Best Cinematography. Ooh, this is a tough one. We have like 75 nominations on this one. Again, 32 White is being nominated for Best Cinematography. The Shroud, which we talked about earlier, which was the young woman going to the graveyard that, well, has a somewhat dark fate, so to speak. No Alternative, which is again the movie about squat culture. Kushtaka, 1800s, right? Okay. The pioneer of the 1800s. Asteroid, which is basically E.T. meets that crazy world of Uranus, so to speak. And Mine's on Mute. Do we have a description for that? You guys saw that. You saw that, right? Mine's on Mute is almost as if the world, which we keep going the way we are, with technology being the way it is, we literally just become so desensitized that we're all about cell phones and computers, and our minds literally become on mute. So through the course of 9 minutes, you watch these figures that have no face. They're all completely covered in dark, literal dark clothes, kind of walking around almost like zombies, set apart to certain types of music. Interesting. It's very experimental. It's from a German filmmaker, as a matter of fact, Lander Herbolz. And so he is nominated as well. So, after all of this, best cinematography, my judges have chosen No Alternative, which is exactly Sadly, Karen Cooper is not available tonight either, because sadly she had to go back to, she's from upstate New York, so she had to go back. This is what I can tell you. Both Karen and Kevin are co-producers of this film. One of the biggest and most important things that I took away, and most of our audience took away from No Alternative, is the idea of, for artists, and these artists in Sweden, there is no alternative. There is no other way of living. There's no other occupation. The only thing that they are equipped to do is be artists. So whether they get kicked out of their domicile, whether they have to live in shared housing, no matter what they have to do, there's no alternative for them. They are destined to be artists, and that's all there is. So it's very touching, it's very poignant. I was very pleased to screen it. I'm sending it off to distribution. I'm praying with all that I have that it gets it, because it really is a beautiful, lovely film. Right now, I know that if you guys want to look at it, did they say there was a French version? I couldn't remember.
They're planning to do a specific French subtitle version in English.
That's what I thought. Okay, so I wanted to make sure that I got that right. So, dramatic short film. This was a tough one. I gotta tell you, I went through and I looked at this category at least 6 times, and I'm not gonna lie to you, because every single one of you should win. And out of all the categories, it breaks my heart to only give it to one of you. And I have considered the fact of awarding all of you the same award, and I can't do that because, well, I could, but it wouldn't be right. There has to be one winner. So first off, Silent Combustion. Since the actor and director are here, so in the words of the director, tell me what you love about your film, since you're nominated.
Oh, thank you. I just love the color. I know that's an odd thing to say, but I was really surprised that we were able to get the color that we wanted to get in the film. And it was kind of an accident, but very much on purpose. I like the fact that people really, really understand that it's a silent film. It's an homage to silent films. And that people get it in a modern sense. So,
Good answer.
Thank you.
What a Wonderful World is nominated with Eileen and Christopher LaPonta and Mark. What do you love about your film? Very.
I'm in it. I'm not the creator, and writer, or director. I don't know. I think I was watching State really for the first time, and it's just very different. And I don't know. You're putting me on the spot. I'm not really sure how to answer.
I know, and Mark's not here. What I can tell you, what I know about What a Wonderful World, one of the reasons why it's such a beautiful picture is because it explores both realities, both worlds. It looks at a world where you have a husband and wife that have lost touch with one another. And then on the other side of the fence, you have a loving couple who couldn't be more connected with one another. So in some ways, it almost speaks to me and says, it's possible to have both worlds. It is a wonderful world because it doesn't have to be one or the other. That's my interpretation.
That is lovely. Much better than what
So I just spoke for Eileen again. So that's What a Wonderful World. Not as tough as you think. So Ian, the filmmaker, is here. Tell everyone what is so wonderful about you.
What I value about this film is that we can all learn from it, and it's relevant to real life situations, and it brings value to young people as well as to those who, let's say, stakeholders in their lives. So that I'm hoping that some kid can, after watching it, can say, you know what, this makes sense. And instead of going this way, I'll go that way.
Reborn is also a nominee. For those of you that were in the room that saw Reborn, what did you think? What was remarkable to you about this film? Did you guys see it? Did anybody see Reborn? The domestic abuse movie? Reborn is a 7 or 8 minute film that was done by an LA filmmaker that literally follows the short journey. There's a woman in sunglasses that sits at a subway station and she's got sunglasses on. And then you see her backstory about how she lived a life that was very sad and very, very damaging to her. She ended up in a very domestic abuse situation, and you figure out through the course of the 7 or 8 minutes how she learns to become reborn. She rebuilds herself, rebuilds her life of their children. So there's a very big, strong domestic abuse message through that. Still Life is a 8 or 9 minute film. I want to say 9 minute film that literally is done. It's photography, yes. Certain type of photography. What do they call that? Sorry, I'm not tech savvy. Is it all photography, or is it photography set to film?
The photography set to film, except at the very end.
Right. So literally, it's almost like if you took 800 Polaroids and minute by minute, it was all black and white photographs of the dynamic of a daughter and a wife and the father. And you just watch through pictures. Their entire life story gets kind of played out moment by moment by moment until the final moment where you see he gets terminal and then he eventually passes away. And the after effect of him passing away from cancer. So it's very touching, very moving, dedicated to her fathers. That's Still Life. The other one has Been a While, which we've talked about before, which is the story of the relationship between the father, the broken relationship between father and daughter. So, this one I thought we wouldn't have a tie. We do. Well, it's dramatic short film. So, number 1, Silent Combustion. And number 2, Not As Tough As You Think. So, Ian's movie. So both of you, come on out, because I only have 1 trophy, but you both won, basically. Which I would have liked to have known earlier, but too late.
Oh, you. Oh, you go first. Oh, you go first.
Okay. Listen,
Cut it in half like Solomon.
yeah, right? Yeah, I'm almost speechless. You know, thank you. Thank you all very much. This has been a very, very good experience for me. You know, this festival, I've been to others, and there was no red carpet, no pretenses, and I think Sydney and Michael, you know, impressed me with the fact that they value not just the work, but me as a person. With all the work that, you know, she had to do, she responded to my emails like that. You know, and I asked some questions that I thought, wow, is she going to think I'm dumb or something, you know? I just hope this film touched somebody. I was impressed with yours, you know, just to be up here in the same company, and, you know, you're more experienced than I am, I think more accomplished, and just to be here with you, you know, I think it's an honor in itself, you know. So, you know, when I talk, I always wind up saying that when you start to, you know, ramble, it's time for you to shut up. So, let me change the channel.
Just real quickly, first of all, ditto what he said about the festival. I'm just going to go with that. I first went to, I'm going to let you take it. Let you take it. Because here's the thing. First of all, it doesn't matter if you think you're less experienced. Because when you make a good film, you make a good film. It doesn't matter if it's your first film or if it's your 10th film, as long as it touches people. So I'm in good company too. So I can appreciate this award. It's our first award. So I'm grateful to the festival more than anything because it is a nice community very intimate. People have been really nice. They've been very sweet. We happen to be in another film. One of the things is that we're in another film festival. It's big, it's commercial, but it's not as, while I appreciate being over there, it's very nice that people have been responding to the film the way they responded to it. The goal was to say, listen, two people from opposite ends of the spectrum can fall in love, and they can decide whether or not they want to move forward. And because it involved the twist of them having disabilities, that was the whole idea that brought them together, because really it's a metaphor that we all have a disability of some sort, whether it be mental, emotional, but we're all normal. So that was the whole purpose of it. I want to thank Lexis, who basically is at the heart of the film. She was my acting student, and this was her graduation project. So that was an amazing accomplishment for her to be able to pull that off after, you know, venturing into acting. And I want to thank Joey Kirshner, who agreed to be in this film just based on his gut and his heart. And he did an amazing job. Both of them did an amazing job together. I want to thank all of the crew that worked with me on this film. A lot of them were patrons. Everyone worked very, very hard. So, and I just want to thank Cindy. I want to thank everybody who decided to give this award. Thank you very much.
Oh boy. Okay, females. It's that time. Okay, so best male actress. Just kidding. 4 a.m. All right, so I have a lot of femme fatales in this room. In fact, 3 of you are psychos. A little weird, but 3 of you are legitimate psychos. So first, not Lexus, little Lexus, Silent Combustion. Tell everybody how you got the role in the movie Silent Combustion.
Well, Hadassah, as she said before, she was teaching me. I was a student, and I had did like monologue competitions with her and stuff. So we did Silent Combustion as a theater performance, and then we transformed it into a film. So yeah, she wrote the script, and she had me in mind, so I didn't have to audition.
Very nice. No audition. Very, very good. All right, so of course, Lexus Green for Silent Combustion. Jessica Robin Riley for Room 8.
Yeah, boy!
Talk about being psycho, as you are saying.
Never been called psycho.
You said you didn't have a name. When we did Q&A, I was like, what's your character name? You really don't have one. I said psycho? Okay, psycho.
I guess, but like, she's not like a well-meaning psycho. She,
Really?
if she thinks, I guess it's for good reason. In her own mind, maybe she has tricked herself into thinking it's for good reason. I'm sleepy.
She's like, just move along. I'm a psycho, and that's that. So Jessica is nominated for her role with no name, apparently, in her movie Room 8. Orly Sheemish for The Dog Walker. Tell everybody how psycho you are.
I'm not at all psycho, I'm just misunderstood.
And your particular role in the film, what do you play?
My character, Liv Fermor, is the best friend of the lead, who's the investigative journalist, and she is her sidekick, always in her shadow. So there's definitely a bit of a jealousy thing happening, but what maybe wasn't, not everyone picks up on, I noticed when they watch it, is that in the little flashback scenes you catch a glimpse of the trauma that happened, and my character was injured. And her face is scarred, and this is part of the reason she has this resentment, because it's affected her life, and because the lead decides to quit, it kind of screwed up Liv's life. Yeah.
Oh yes, she's a psycho.
Troubled, yeah.
Absolutely. Diane Dougherty is not a psycho for assisted suicide. So tell everybody about your role.
Sure. So the opposite character, Kristen, has decided that she's going to kill herself, and I'm her best friend, and I want to make sure that she doesn't go through with that. And I like to think that Nancy gives her options and reasons to live and things to think about. And mostly she brings some optimism and some comedy into a subject that is maybe difficult to talk about.
Very, very good. Thank you so much, my dear. And then we have Evelyn Lake, obviously for Limbo. It goes without saying for those of you that saw it. Evelyn, if she were here right now, what she would say to you is, I don't know why you watch this, because I can't even watch me. She has a seriously difficult time with watching herself portray any character, let alone a character this destructive. She's now a brunette, so she doesn't look anything like the character you just saw. She told me that this took so much mental preparation that literally she could not get out of her character for some time, which is almost haunted. You know, to be this messed up, to be this toxic was very, very difficult for her. So kudos to her on a job well done for being, I just, it's one of my favorites. I mean, like we all agree it's very disturbing, but very, very earned, along with all the rest of it. Great nomination, Evelyn Lake. The last one we have is Nikki Shafaloff for Lower Plateau. For those of you that did not see Lower Plateau, the long story short is, it's a Canadian musician who happens to be a huge pot smoker, who is still in love with her married boyfriend, who has another boyfriend that she plays video games with, and she's trying to figure out, am I a musician? Am I a whore? What's going on with me? Beautiful hour and 20-minute film. Lovely, lovely, lovely. I mean, I gotta tell you, this is another category where I'm like, ugh. Fortunately, I did not have to pick any of you because I know at least a couple of you, so I'm like completely removed. But the judges say, dog walker or lead.
Wow, a little shocked and overwhelmed, frankly, but holy cow, this is so cool. Thank you so much to Cindy and all of the Art is Alive Festival judges, and wow, okay, I'm like completely overwhelmed. I need to, first of all, thank my co-producers, my writer-director, Kylie, who decided to put this together and asked me to play this really challenging, fun role. The entire cast and crew. This was our first feature film. It's the first feature film, first award I'm holding, so it's really kind of exciting and fun. It's really cute, I love it. And just thank you to like my family who supported me, because I've only been doing this a few years. I changed careers like kind of late in life, and this is, like Diane was saying before, it's sort of like validating as an actor to be like, all right, hey, maybe I'm doing the right thing. So thank you, and my family, and Rich, thank you for sticking by me through all this craziness. Thank you, guys.
So before I proceed to the next award, I think it would be only fair, just because both of you are present. It was a very close, very, very, very close for female, both you and Jessica. Had it not been for Orly, either one of you would have won. And that's not to take away from you whatsoever. But make no mistake that you're both very, very close. So know that you are appreciated just as much. And I wish I could give you all awards, and it frustrates me that I can't. Okay, so we have next. You don't want to do that one. We'll save the feature for last. Cinematography. So that leaves, oh boy, the best feature film. That's for last. One of the things that we look at least for my film festival, when we look at best feature film, is a combination of three different things. Does the film itself, is the timing right? Is the subject matter right? Have we done enough and said enough in a proper amount of time? Have we moved an audience? Have we done the right casting, the right writing, the right amount of cinematography? My favorite topic, and my favorite subject, and my favorite award is best feature film, because it combines every single element, every one of those 7 elements that I talk about when I send you the email about what makes a good film. It is the top of the top in every single area, whether it's writing, whether it's casting, whether it's relatability, whether it's marketing, whether it's cinematography, it's the best of the best. So this is probably one of the hardest awards to give out. And for me, yet again, you all deserve an award. And once again, 32 White for Best Feature is nominated yet again. Wow, what's up with this film? It's like on fire, right? Is it overwhelming? It's a lot. It's like three, right? Well, you know, what can I say? No alternative yet again with the squash culture. I'm like, oh my God, there's something to be said about squash culture. I'm a squash culture gypsy sort of girl, so I totally relate to this. The Sky is Blue with Lies, John Reed's film. So those that have not seen it, John, tell everybody what your film is about.
It's kind of an experimental late 70s version of Red Runner.
Very good description, actually. Very, very experimental in a lot of ways. And he is one of the best filmmakers that has been to this festival. And I say that, and I mean that. The Damaged, Best Feature. So tell everybody about your film. Apparently award winner.
Yet again, troubled people behaving badly and encountering each other, making their lives worse. People don't know how to react like normal people and evolve in life.
And just so the listening audience knows, there is, you're the bad guy, obviously, and you have a counterpart. And is there, what is the main storyline, the main?
Well,
Give them a synopsis.
It starts off as a young man, young adult, who's very lost in life, and he's looking for a purpose. He winds up joining this small criminal organization headed by myself, thinking that he's going to find his camaraderie, his father figure, his everything. And it just goes horribly wrong, because, as we know, despite the allure of the dark side of life, most of them are absolute maniacs. And they will take everything that they can from you. And he finds out a little too late that he's made a deal with the devil. And he has to survive.
Limbo, of course, as we haven't mentioned it more than enough times back, obviously Limbo is fundamental for many reasons, most of which trying to really shed a huge light on domestic abuse. One of the best made films that I've seen in a while, and one of the most as we all know, troubling and complicated and very difficult to deal with and very hard to watch, obviously. So Limbo is Whistleblowers. So Kathy or Frank, describe your movie.
Whistleblowers, in large part, Kathy Cole's creation. What happened around Kathy Cole sitting in front of me? It's about suffering and overcoming. And you don't compare tragedies. I was in the audience, so I'll just say she suffered more than the characters. I don't want to say the characters in this film suffered more than anybody, but I guarantee you nobody suffered more than the characters in this film. The Avengers have nothing on these characters. It's just amazing. The obstacles in their way, fighting for justice, people dying, people dead, people dying. Drug addictions, people living their hard, and they continue to somehow persevere, find each other thanks to Kathy, and still fight. I mean, when this is all over tomorrow morning, they're still going to fight more, and they go on, and they fight for not only themselves, but for the rights of everybody in the United States. That's what the film's about.
How many stories within the course of your film did you cover? How many people's lives again? Just so I get it right. 5. Okay, I just wanted to be sure of that, for those of you that didn't catch it. All right, so those are all of your nominations. So, my judges tell me that there is yet again a tie. The second tie this year. So, award-winning film number 1 is Limbo, which is not a surprise to me. And yeah, I was kind of rooting for him, but I couldn't vote for him. So like, yeah, that's wonderful, but film number 2 is indeed Whistleblowers.
Let me introduce, say a quick thing before I introduce the person responsible for this A lot of suffering went on to make this film. The thrill of it all was meeting these people. Somehow we came together in New York. I'm one of the, thank God Kathy asked me to be in this film. I'm one of the people in the film, and I suffered, and somehow I made it back from the dead, wrote a book, started a radio show. I interviewed so many different people, actors, actresses, athletes, politicians, high-profile people, but the most important person, by far, hands down, without question, was Kathy Cole. She was a guest on my show, that's how I met her. Powder keg. I mean, amazing woman. She had this, we lived by chance pretty nearby, pretty close to each other, so we collaborate on so many things. I drag her to things, she drags me to things, we become real close friends. It's one of the blessings of what happened to me was meeting her. There's ever a silver lining. She gets things done. And this movie, we collaborate on a lot of things, but this film I contributed to, she asked my opinion, I did help out. It does not happen without her. This film is because of her, and that's all there is to it. And I can assure you the people involved in this film are going to be so thrilled tomorrow. So on behalf of them who aren't here, thank you for that. They're going to be so happy. So thank you.
So first and foremost, I'm a mother. And the love of a mother does crazy things. And when I was told, I have a very niche-y business, I'm in a man's world. My husband is, him and I run a construction business in the New York City and the New York State Department of Education, and they are by far the most powerful education department in the nation, if not the world. And some children were killed in school gyms, and that's our niche. And a law became enacted, and unfortunately, money was dispersed every which way, and the law was not being enforced. And I knew that when I called the man behind the curtain on the carpet, the main person in the New York State Department of Education who's in charge of 5 million children's safety, that there would be some, some retaliation. And, I had no idea the amount. But the day that he said to me on October 20th, 2009, when I asked him, what am I going to tell the parent of the dead child? Carl, you're not following the law. And number one, he said that he breaks the law three times on his way to work. He speeds, he doesn't wear a seatbelt, and he talks on his cell phone. And then he said to me that if another child is killed, their family will be compensated for their loss. So there is no compensation for that loss. I knew about the dangers, and through my blowing the whistle, it was really Frank who's, after several years when I started really going public, said, I want you to come on the radio show. And that's how Whistleblowers was really born, because we had so many people reaching out, good people, mothers, fathers, grandparents, teachers, nurses, doctors, saying, my God, exactly what you're exposing, not exactly, but different issues of abuse and neglect. And I mean, coming forward, because if we don't do it, who will? So Cindy, thank you for having this, for hearing us, for letting us make some noise. And like I said, just really quickly, we were honored to be chosen out of over 200 films from 43 countries. And we played on the United States Capitol in Hart Senate building last weekend. And I'm telling you, I am more moved tonight by all of the people who are just trying to make a difference and make the world a better place. So, you know what? God bless all of you, and thank you.
You don't need to thank me. I didn't do anything. before I let everybody go.
Thanks, man.
So first and foremost, congratulations to everybody who has an award. To everyone that doesn't. I wish that I could give everyone an award. But I will, because I haven't given all of you an award. I am more than willing to give you an interview and a review and anything that I can do to get you distributed or anything I can do to make your life better or your film better or get it out there, know that I will. Second of all, they're making that for you. Chris just told me. Thank you. If you like the festival, please leave a review, Facebook or Film Pro Day. If you didn't like it, leave a review. I don't have that big of an ego where I'm like, no, you only have to say something if you're nice. Please, I welcome the feedback, but most importantly, I just cannot say how much I appreciate and value your time, your trouble, your presence, and your performances and your art. And thank you for being part of this year's festival. Thank you so much. I'm not gonna wrap. Finally. That's it. So now I can just relax.